real estate agent priorities. Like, what are you, as your realtor, as a real estate agent, what are your priorities to tackle in business? Like, what is the sequential order that you need to be following to really be able to grow and have a successful, sustainable real estate business? There's this idea of shiny objects, and I feel, and I know Paul feels as well, that a lot of you guys in the industry get sold a whole bunch of shiny objects, and really that's just not the way that we need to be going about this. So I'm gonna kick this off to you, Paul. I want you to drop your knowledge. Let's start with this question, which is, for you, the people watching this video, the real estate agents, what do you feel the biggest struggle is right now, my friend? What is up, everybody? Back again with my good friend slash mentor slash veteran coach of 25 years in the real estate game, founding member of Compass West Coast. Please allow me to introduce to you guys again, Paul Fig, everybody. And I am happy to have him back on the show today because I want to dig into a new topic that we actually, in conversation, for whatever reason, I was talking about it in one place, he was talking about it in another place, and we had a meeting of the minds and realized, wow, we're thinking the same thing, just at different moments in time. So we figured let's make a video about it. And it's really all about real estate agent priorities. Like, what are you, as your realtor, as a real estate agent, what are your priorities to tackle in business? Like, what is the sequential order that you need to be following to really be able to grow and have a successful, sustainable real estate business? There's this idea of shiny objects, and I feel, and I know Paul feels as well, that a lot of you guys in the industry get sold a whole bunch of shiny objects, and really that's just not the way that we need to be going about this. So I'm gonna kick this off to you, Paul. I want you to drop your knowledge. Let's start with this question, which is, for you, the people watching this video, the real estate agents, what do you feel the biggest struggle is right now, my friend? Or their biggest struggle is, I should say.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back. So I appreciate it. I always love talking to you and, brainstorming. We both have that passion of we're trying to help people. And, I'd look at real estate as an ultimate business is that, if you're not producing, you're not making any money. And you're really out there on your own, but you're also helping people in probably one of the largest things they're ever going to do in their life, buying a home. And whether it's an investment or a second home or whatever it is huge. So, people are really out there helping people. So the funny thing is that we were talking about is, I think there's a lot of struggle out there, first of all, with agents. And so I'm going to talk about the struggle, but to me, it goes back to, unless you're kind of tethered in your business and you know who you are and who you serve, it's going to be much easier to be distracted in your business and jumping off into something that you think is going to solve your problems and throw a little money at it, or $150 a month here and there and a couple of grand. And you first got to know, what do I have to offer and who am I going to offer it to? And when we were talking, I was on, I don't know if it was a call or, a video that I was listening to, but they said that there are more real estate agents in the country than houses for sale.
That's probably one of my video ads. You probably flooded your feed or something.
It probably was you. It probably was you. It's insane because, and when you think about it, is, how do you, when you talk about how do you stand out in the marketplace, and we're almost talking shades of gray because when you're buying a property or you're selling a property, there's only so many things that you're going to do. But to be successful, you've got to be able to tap into a group that is going to choose you over somebody else.
Exactly.
And so a lot of what I focus with people on is, establishing who that community is. There's a lot of marketing people out there, and they'll talk about it as like you're almost targeting a small group of people that you want to serve. You'll take other people, but it's you're targeting the smaller group. So, the big thing, and I know you work a lot with your clients on that, is really getting down to the basics of what do you have to offer and who do you want to serve in your business. My business, I've been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that I do teach, but it's that what I'm doing is I'm helping people that I've done business with before. I would say friends and family, if I had family that lived in Los Angeles, but everybody lives on the other coast. So it's the friends that I have, neighbors that I know, and these are all people that I want good things to happen for them. I think they want good things to happen for me. So that's the kind of core of who I'm targeting. But then on top of that, what I want to do is help the people that they know. So it's getting that person beyond me. And then there's a whole layering that can go on. But in part, any marketing that I do is always to make sure that I'm reinforcing with that group who I am. So I don't become this person that if people know me, they would say, I didn't know you did that. What the heck? Something completely different. So it's really about knowing yourself and who you serve. And then, in the major markets, in the major cities, which Compass is focused completely in the major cities, is commissions are pretty high per sale. I know in some areas, I don't know any place where real estate is completely cheap anymore, but it used to be in some areas, you had to sell like 100 houses to make a living.
Yeah, well, there's definitely some areas still going on right now where you got to be moving massive units to really make a dent.
So that becomes a little bit different because you got to have a machine going, to do that. Mm-hmm. But for most people in the major cities, there's a lot of it where you want to be able to tell people who you are, who you serve, and bring them in. So let's say you get that down. You know who you are, who you're serving, you know what your message is, you have a plan in place. My thing is always to keep your plan simple. You have your plan in place. But then it's like, if you know what you're supposed to do, what is it that takes you off the game from not doing what you know you're supposed to do? Mm-hmm. My wife's a definite, type AAA person. And in her mind, it's like, if you have something to do, you just do it. So I said, well, that's easy if you go to a job, because if you go to a job and you're given an assignment or you have a start time and you don't show up, you're going to lose your job. But as a real estate agent, you have complete control of what you're going to do on any given day.
Exactly.
So
and without structure, like to your point, it's like without structure, it's going to be very difficult for you to progress, right?
Because the thing is you're going to have struggle all the time. Things are going to be distracting you.
Yeah.
Because you can choose to do whatever you want to do at any given day. So if you don't have the structure in place, what's going to happen is you're going to move towards the distraction, because usually the distractions, it's related to problems. So when I look at things, I look at this can be external, but they can also be internal. So external, things that cause agents to struggle and cause distractions. You can have world events. Mm-hmm. We've been working through this pandemic. It has greatly affected negatively and positively the real estate market, but you still gotta work. You gotta control what you can control, but there's things coming from the outside. You can have difficult clients, you can have family issues going on, you could have personal health issues. I have a client that I'm working with now. She's getting ready to go to surgery, is putting a plan together. That's a personal health issue. There's people that have kid issues, spouse issues, marriage issues, parent issues, these can all affect you. And, life is, I always say family first, but part of family first might be I get to do my job to provide for my family in the middle of these other things that I'm taking care of.
Exactly.
So when you look, there's a great book. I'm gonna spin in my chair. I have this book,
You're
Indestructible.
pulling it off the shelf. Nice. I love
I
it.
pulled it off the shelf, right? Indestructible. How to control your attention and choose your life, right? I
Not, by
read
the way,
whole
I'm gonna
book.
leave the link to that in the description if anyone wants to
Yeah.
purchase it.
It is a good. I don't want to put the guy down. He's
Yeah.
an author, probably like Stanford University PhD and the whole thing, famous author.
Okay.
What does it come down to at the end to help you avoid distraction, stay out of the struggle, and do what you're going to do? Time blocking.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Time block.
So I'm going, how many experts do you need in real estate to tell you that time blocking is the key, right?
Oh, you're talking to two of them right now that preach this to like a bag of dirt at this point. You got a time block.
Gary Keller and his one thing.
Yeah.
You can do all the exercises. You can do everything you want. It's going to come down to time blocking.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, in this business, there's certain things you have to do. Now, you're going to time block in real estate if you have to go on a listing appointment. And you're probably going to show up.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, once in a while, you hear somebody tell you, you would not believe it. I had a listing appointment and I got involved with something. And next thing I know, I totally forgot to go. You will hear that once in a while. But for the most part, you have a listing appointment, you're going to go. You have inspections, you're going to go. A lot of times you have office meetings, you go. The whole thing in business is getting business. So the what you would call lead generation and prospecting has to be time blocked, just like the actual listing appointment.
Yes. Like I can't.
It becomes
You're
that
nailing
simple.
it, man. You're nailing
It's that
it.
simple.
I feel that like, and let me ask you this, like, and maybe I want to hear your opinion about it, because I've always been of the idea of, you got a time block every single day for specific things, but it's very hard to time block in the morning per se. Like, what's your take on like how to prepare to time block?
All right. I have what I call the Pulp Fig LA 4-hour day.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So look, I'm not saying you're only going to work 4 hours, but if you do these 4 hours worth of work, I promise you, your business will be steadier. And so I do an hour of morning routine. Whenever you look at, everybody, the Oprah Winfrey's, the, Napoleon Hill, whatever, there is a morning routine. So you figure out a morning routine that works for you. You do, and that's really almost like the self-care, professional development, that kind of thing. So you have an hour. You're going to have to time block time for lead generation. You need to time block time to follow up and follow through with the people that are in your pipeline, because nothing is worse than putting all the effort in, getting a lead, and not following up with them or following through with what you told them to do. Happens all the time. So you have to be organized. You need a system, but you need to time block time just to follow up and follow through. I'm often telling the group that I advise, take some time sitting down with the laptop open. Not everything's driving in the car, rushing between appointments when you have to do this. So you can stay focused and steady on what you're doing. So right there, I just talked about 3 hours worth of work. In my opinion, if you could focus on 3 hours there, but every day, morning routine, 1 hour on some sort of lead generation prospecting activities. A lot of what I'm always talking about doing is staying in touch with your core audience.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The
And
core.
there's different ways that you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come in and your pipeline is your active clients, or you're following up with your potential clients. And then at the end of the day, you have to spend time reviewing your day, documenting what you did in your systems, and planning your next day. So there's like a full hour of that.
Ooh, you said something that was a gem right there. I want to emphasize what you just said on hour 4, because I don't think enough real estate agents and you guys watching, if you're watching, I'm talking to you. You need to understand how successful you will be if you have a system and a process that you follow. And if it means blocking off the end of your day to fulfill whatever's in that system or process, oh man, that's the gem right there. That's the big nugget out of today's conversation that I'm taking away. So that's me and my selfish wants and needs right there.
You take that hour. Now,
Yeah.
here's where you and I have discussed. So
Yeah.
people in the struggle, they usually feel like, well, I don't have enough business. If I had more business, then I'd be all set, right? And a lot of times, there's bottlenecks in the system that they put in place, which is really the issue, or they haven't clearly defined who they are and what they're working. So there's a lot of thought that has to go into the business
Yeah.
that you have. But what happens is that's how they're sold on the shiny penny, is that they go through. Now, I also know that probably you get the phone calls from agents because maybe you speak somewhere or they see you online or something like this, and they go to you. So they're thinking it's going to be just like a quick fix. Like, oh, let me throw a little money at this. That's going to give me the clients and I'm done. And it's like, look at what you do and you help people is another way of they're going to be generating that business, right? But they've got to do still all the work. And at the end of the day, they're probably going to have people you got to follow up and follow through with.
Exactly.
And so if you're helping them to generate leads and generate business, and they're working on that, their digital footprint and getting information out,
yeah.
It goes back to the basics again. You're still selling houses. Probably few are a pure internet personality or something that's they got to make their money through selling ads, with the work that they're doing. At the end of the day, they're bringing business in. Then they got to have a system to do the follow up, the follow through with their clients, connecting people with property.
That's exactly it. So it's funny you say that, because what a lot of I think a lot of agents get wrong, or where they really miss the mark, is that, like you said, they'll call me and they'll say, hey, I need leads. I say, hey, I can get you leads. And then the next question is, what is your purpose? Who do you serve? And usually it's a blank stare or silence for a few seconds. And then you kind of got to break down to your point. Like, it always goes back to the beginning. The successful agents that come to me are the ones that want to 10x when they're already at a certain level, because they've already been able to identify that. And without having identified who you are and who you serve, coming to me, much less you or the next guy over, it's like we can only do so much. That's time that you actually need a time block to figure that out yourself.
Right.
You said something that I want to circle back to. You said it in the very beginning of our discussion. You said two things. It was friends and community. And I want to touch on that first part first, friends. I think what often gets misunderstood is that, and you tell me what you think about this, it's that, one, agents tend to think of, I need to get more leads so I can get more clients. But the way I look at it, and the way that I want to reframe this, is I want to build a community of friends that I feel comfortable hanging out with. Like, I can call you up, we can chat, we could go grab a drink, like we can have a conversation just like this. You are my friend. I consider you my friend. I want that type of person that I'm working with, not just some Joe Schmo that I'm going to get off of a Facebook lead. I need to develop that kind of camaraderie and that friendship. And I think that's one of the missing pieces for agents. Like, you need to not think of a client as a client. You need to think of a client as a friend. You need, if someone comes into your door as a prospect, your goal should not be to, hey, Mr. Prospect, I want to sell your home, or I want to represent you on a purchase. It's more like, hey, Mr. Prospect, I want to see if you can be my friend first. And if we can build that friendship and add you to my community, like, we can definitely work together. We can make this work.
And not everybody you're going to hang out and go to ball games. And, you know, and go to dinner with and everything like this. But it's about striking to the point. There's a relationship where you end up, this person knows that, you know, you truly have their best interests.
You said it even better than I can, man. That's exactly
it. And that you do have a personal connection. You got to make the connection on a humanity level. People do business. You know, all the statistics are out there. They do business. I chart the numbers. We're at about 94% in the group that I advise. Mm-hmm. People do business with people they know, like, and trust, and are connected with.
Exactly.
And then what ends up happening with, you know, that other group. So let me throw these statistics at you, because this will be kind of freak you out, is that...
Hit me with...
Look, say you had 100 people in your community. And so you say, well, that doesn't seem like a lot of people that you're going to sell, but you had 100. On average, people, if they were all homeowners, every 10 years, they're going to, you know, make a move. So you figure if you had 100 people, every 10 years they're going to make a move. There's 10 transactions in those 100 people. Now, let's say they're going to buy and sell. So there's actually 20 transactions in there. Mm-hmm. And you say, all right, that's good. Well, if these are people that I'm really connected with, maybe I'll get half, right? Because you're not going to get every one.
Yeah.
You know,
so
but say you get half.
Yeah. Okay.
So that gets you like 10 transactions. Then you go, oh, well, that's not enough, right? 10 transactions isn't enough unless you're selling $5 million homes at a pop. So you get in there and you said, but look at everyone in that group statistically knows 4 people who are transacting. So if you take 100 times 4, now there's 400 right there. Mm-hmm. So look, as this is happening, people are going to be connecting and you're meeting other people. But so in there's like 400 transactions floating around you. This is low hanging fruit.
Oh, easily.
Now
it's your inner circle, and then the referrals of that inner circle, like the community that we're talking about.
And it's the community.
Yeah.
And you've got the trust built up there, and sometimes the referral trust is even better than the people that you know, because if something doesn't work out, they let their friend down by not, you know, causing some sort of issue. So the referrals are really the strongest part of business. But when you get into it and you look and you say, I got to stay connected with this group. And in part of staying connected to this group, you got to be in all of the above. You can be personal, digital, social. You know, you got to throw some personal in there, but this is where you can really have the digital social world reminding them of what you do, so you don't have to call them up and go, hey, I don't know, I haven't talked to you in a while. Wanted to come by and see, maybe this would be a good time for you to sell your house. And so be like,
that's a gem right there, man.
How many times are you going to call me and ask me to sell my house? So
yeah, but if you just show up on a regular basis on social media, it's like, oh, well, you just knocked out doing 100 phone calls in one post. Which is that
you can do
easy.
It. You still want to be connecting on a personal level, but it takes more than one touch a month to be connected to people.
Exactly.
So, you know, and when you look at the struggle, let's go back to the struggle again. So,
okay.
Let's
bring it full circle. Let's bring it full circle.
Bring it full circle.
Yeah, take us to the finish line, Paul. Let us know.
When you think about this, you go, okay. Yeah. We talked about the struggle. There can be things external. Internal, you can also lose confidence, maybe a little bummed out, nervous about money, whatever it is. There can be maybe you're like, oh, I haven't talked to those people in so long. There's all these things going on inside. You've got these external things, family, the world, health, whatever else is going on. All of these things are kind of taking you and distracting you off your game. Mm-hmm. So then you're like, okay, now you've got one sale going. That gets a little tricky. You want it to close. You're nervous about everything else. How are you going to keep the machine running? And if you're not time blocking, you're not project managing yourself, forget. I see so many people, they hire an assistant and they haven't been able to manage themselves. How are you going to manage somebody else? You don't have your systems in place. That now you have somebody come in and you hear everybody all the time. Oh, I want to be able to generate business and just turn it over to my, assistants and they can run with everything. If you don't have systems in place, what exactly are they going to run with?
Exactly.
So when you look at this and you look, say the work that you have to do when you set a post. So say you're going to post several times a week, whatever you're going to do. There's a lot that has to be scheduled in there to be able to do it all on a consistent basis. Oh, yeah. But if you do it all on a consistent basis, it becomes your routine. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to do it. There's iterations of you get more efficient and better at what you're doing if you're systematically doing the same basic things. And then you save your brain power for problem solving, negotiating, and a little bit of worrying and dealing with the family stuff. But the rest of it, it's not like it's automated everything, but it's automatic. You know what you got to do, and then you just got to sit down and execute.
Well, yeah. To your point, I think you said something that I maybe want to kind of give some final thoughts on, which is when motivation disappears, habit needs to be that one thing that takes over, because it's going to be habit that's going to get you the success. It's habit that's going to take you to the finish line. It's habit that's going to get you to your goals faster. It's habit that helps you build the repetition so that you can do stuff more efficiently. So yeah, to your point, that's exactly it. That's right on the money. Really, I guess at the cusp of today's conversation, you guys got to build the systems, and part of building the systems is just building the habits.
So build the habits and like you said, you gotta spend some time, slowing down, thinking, right? You have to take that time, and it's not all just go in a like responding way to people. For those in like it's a lot of different markets, but in Los Angeles, if you have buyers, it's very difficult to find a property and then to win and get the property for them, get an accepted offer. So say you have 7 clients and they're all sending you information, you got the others. You're like one person playing ping pong against 7 people, and they're all hitting the ball at you. Exactly. If you don't have a steady system in place, it's going to be, you're going to have a very stressful time in this business. And
you're talking gems.
As you said,
you're talking gems. All right, Paul. Well, I appreciate you taking some time today to talk with me again about this very, very, very important topic that honestly I feel that most realtors feel uncomfortable talking about amongst their peers. But hey, that's what we're here to kind of just we're here to talk about it. We're to bring it to the forefront. So Paul, to wrap up today's conversation, can you let everybody know what you got going on? Tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at paulfigla, paulfigla.com. You can see the one that I look to help people through, and a lot of this time when I talk about doing that upfront work, is I do have a program that I take people through this whole process to get them to the point where they can start putting their systems in place. And then after that, it's a whole maintenance thing, but that's the best way to find it.
That's awesome. I appreciate it, Paul. All right. So just to wrap things up, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's talk. Don't worry, Paul will be back again very soon. But if you like the video, you guys know the deal. Make sure you click the like button, the subscribe button, the bell icon, get notified when we publish videos just like this one. It appeases the YouTube gods. It helps keep this channel running. So thank you so much in advance for doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.